Now, if you think that all insurance agents and all insurance products are created equally, we're here to share that that's not the truth. There are some people in every field of the automotive industry, and automotive insurance is one of the products in that field that really rise to the occasion, that rise above the rest of their mediocre or even above average competition. And that's what we're here to do, is to introduce you to the top in every category, and we really have that on our show today. It's a great privilege and an honor to introduce you to Melissa Nicholas, a farmer's agent, local farmer's agent here in Reno. Melissa, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Mitch. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. Let's start with a little bit about how you even got into the insurance industry and how you became an agent and why.
The main reason I became an agent is that my passion in life is helping people, and I wanted to help people protect their assets and not have to worry on their day-to-day basis as to if they're properly covered with their insurance if something happens.
Well, you know, what I find is that quality individuals will only represent quality products and services. And tell us a little bit about your selection process in choosing farmers as an organization to represent.
In looking for an insurance company to represent, I looked at several different companies, looked at their backgrounds, their histories, as well as their strength in terms of their products they are offering and their commitment to their customers. And in doing that, I came farmers would be the best one in terms of being there for their customers.
Well, and you were a customer for many years as well, as I understand, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I've been a farmer's customer for 18 years.
Okay, so you believe in the product and you've consumed it, and that's a really good sign of why you would pick a quality company to represent. But I think one of the reasons that you've been invited on this show, and there's a lot of quality agents in our community, but what sets you apart is your personal commitment, and it's evidenced by who you are in our community. And I hope you won't mind. I know you don't necessarily want to pound your chest about this, but I really hope you'll take a minute and share some of the things that you have that you're involved in our community, because you have to be one of the most involved, committed people to this community that I've had the privilege of meeting.
Currently, I do sit on several boards of nonprofits. The main one I sit on is Access to Community Cultural Education and Program Training, or better known as ACCEPT. And we do drug and alcohol prevention classes, HIV, AIDS prevention classes, parenting classes, financial classes for people.
That's extraordinary. And we've actually had ACCEPT on our show before. If we've introduced that to our community. If you didn't hear about that, you can find them on our Facebook. And just tell us some of the other things that you're involved in.
I am involved in a show and shine, which is called Cars for Kids. That is offered at Gilson Auto Body. It'll be actually September 7th this year. And what we do is raise money for children in the community that need extra funds for certain reasons. Last year we did it to help a charter school because the students did not even have pencils, pens, and papers to write with.
And so now you're doing things for the children of our community. And this is, I hope that people are starting to get the impression of what sets you apart that makes you have an invitation to be on our show. And as a matter of fact, I'll come out with that now as multiple appearances, because we really want to give you the opportunity to educate people about the insurance products, that there's areas of their coverages that they may not really understand, and you're going to take the time to help us fulfill on our commitment over time to educate consumers one car buyer at a time. But tell us some more of the things that you're involved in our community, because they're just, the list goes on. I don't think you ever sleep.
I don't have much time for sleep. No, I am involved with Peace of Mind, which is a suicide prevention program. Recently, I have joined the Carson Valley Community Theater program. Farmers also does fundraising for March of Dimes, which I am involved in every year. And I am vice president of the BMW Club and also one of the leaders of the Mini Club in Northern Nevada. Okay, so if anybody else isn't exhausted just hearing that, now on top of that, your personal commitment as an agent, what lines of insurance coverages do you offer as a farmer's agent? As a farmer's agent, we offer auto, home, life products, as well as policies for your toys, such as your boats, RVs, jet skis, ATVs, motorcycles. We do classic vehicles as well. One thing that farmers can do that most companies can't is we do have the ability to write vacant properties, as well as we're the #1 writer of mobile homes in the industry through Foremost, which is owned by farmers.
And in addition to that, if there's something, and one of the things you talked to me about was being of full service to your consumer, that they come to you and I know that I don't really want to have one item insured over here and one over here and have to explain my entire financial structure to each of these individuals and have 3 or 4 different places where I can go to one person who really can do it all. You do things that you have lines above and beyond what is just available at Farmers.
That is correct. If there is something that one of my customers needs, such as health insurance, disability insurance, long-term care insurance, or for my business owners that I have their commercial and workers' comp policies, maybe they need employee benefits. That is something I can do as well.
One place, one person that understands their entire financial well-being and has that ultimately in mind. And again, a thing that I think that sets you apart is that you discussed with me that initial process of determining what's appropriate for your client. It's a pretty lengthy process, and I'd like you to share that a little bit, because anyone who just goes out and gets insurance, calls somebody up and gets a policy and doesn't get this might want to rethink that process of being acceptable. What do you do when you first meet with a client?
For my new clients, I would try to sit down and speak with them at least for an hour, hour and a half. Sometimes it goes into 2 hours depending on the client's needs. What I do is ask the client pretty much what type of vehicles they own, all of their assets, find out what they're looking to do in the future, if they're looking, to be able to put their kids through college, approximately how much their home is worth, if they're planning on buying a new home in the near future, what that would be worth.
Well, why would all this be so important to you as an agent?
It would be very important to me as an agent as well as my client, because knowing their total assets, it allows me to be able to make sure that their coverages are correct for them and that they're not underinsured in the case of an event happening and they need a claim.
And you mentioned that to me. This is probably the single largest problem that you see when you get a new client, is the number of people out there that are not properly insured.
That's correct. The majority of the population is actually very underinsured. If they were to get in an accident and not have enough coverage, they can be sued, and in Nevada, up to 25% of your wages can be garnished to pay off that lawsuit, as well as they can take your home and various other things, anything in your savings accounts, vehicles as well.
Well, and you had mentioned one of the things that you typically see as underinsured were the medical payments on a policy, and what happens if somebody loses their job. So share a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Correct. Yeah. Farmers does medical payments up to $25,000, and that is what we definitely recommend for most people. And the reason for that is, as you just said, if you lose your job and you no longer have health insurance, you can't afford the COBRA that comes along with losing the job and keeping your health insurance. At that point, if you're in an accident and it's your fault, that medical payments will help to get you back to your normal self if you have an injury.
And you said that you've had seen people that have not had adequate coverages there, and it really creates, as an agent, this is why it's personal to you, is you really care about making sure that they're safe and protected in that situation. And so much that I'll ask our listeners to think for a moment. When was the last time your agent called you and said, I need you to come down to the office and spend a little time and do an update of your policy and review what you have in coverages? You do this on a regular basis.
That is correct. I offered all of my clients an annual review, or a review anytime they choose to. I do contact them either through mail or phone every year, asking them to come in, set an appointment, and meet with me. That way I can go over if anything has changed in their assets, say they bought a different car, had a child, need additional coverage for life insurance.
Well, if you haven't gotten what you're hearing between the lines here is an agent that goes above and beyond, offers all the products and services they can for convenience for you, is completely committed and entrenched in our community, and one of the most committed people that I have ever met in my pleasurable life in Reno, in northern Nevada, absolutely committed to our community. So if you're not seeing that out of your present agent, Melissa, how would they get a hold of you?
I can be reached at 829-0626 is the office. My cell phone is 772-9462, and I'm located at 10725 Double R Boulevard, Suite B, and that is near the intersection of Double Diamond and Double R.
That's Melissa Nicholas, Farmers Insurance Agent here in Reno. And please give her a call again. You can find her on our website, thecarbuyerinadvisor.com, under our preferred businesses page.